Guitar Stuff with John.
Welcome to an extra special fancy edition of Guitar Stuff. What's my name? Oh yeah, Guitar Stuff with John. Fancy hat, wearing a coat, you know, trying to look, you know. I got nothing. Anyhow, welcome back. Glad you're here. Glad you're here for this one because this one is pretty cool. Now, for years and years, you've heard me say what I thought about Taylor guitars. If you were listening closely, you'll take away a couple things. I was a major fan of Taylor. Back in the 80s, 90s, early part of the 2000s, I played them all the time. They were, in my lifetime as a player, they were the first company that presented, besides Gibson and Martin, as a contender, right, for having the best guitar you could possibly buy. And the proof's in the pudding. They are the best-selling acoustic. They're the highest-selling acoustic in the world. They outsell Gibson and Martin. But in the recent decade, or maybe even two, I've always said that I thought they lost their way. I always said, man, why don't they go back to building guitars like I worshipped in the late 80s, early 90s? They were the guitar. They were the guitar. And then with the expression system in the early 2000s, things kind of went awry, in my opinion. Up until that time, of course, they were using Fishman exclusively, which at that time, in those days, was the best undersaddle onboard control type thing you could have. They were the best, right? Until Bags came along, then they were better, and blah blah blah. It's an ancient age-old story of the fight of, trying to avoid undersaddle pickups, and us settling for them for 30 years until K&K came around, and other sensor pickups have come out that, just they're far superior, in my opinion, as a player, as a performer on stage. Every 200 nights a year, that's what I prefer, is a sensor system. But anyhow, long story short, somehow, and I don't know how, they came to this decision, but they reached out to me and said, I'll never forget the email Jay sent me. It literally said, "We have a couple guitars here that we think you would like, believe it or not." And I knew right then that I was dealing with somebody who knew everything I'd said about Taylor, right? But at the same time, he also said to me, "We're huge fans here. You have some big fans here in California." And so, anyhow, these guitars land on my doorstep. And as soon as I opened the case, I went, whoa, this doesn't look like a Taylor at all. Nothing, it doesn't look like a Taylor. And then I played them. Yeah, they're not the Taylor you find hanging in a store wall, I'll tell you that. And here's why. Look at this. This is the new, these are called gold label Taylors. This is the 517E. New headstock design, new logo design. Basically a new body shape, really. It's like a slope-shouldered mini jumbo. This one is made out of beautiful mahogany. Very simplistic guitar. But there's a new bracing system, there's a new neck system, there's new everything in this guitar. It's incredible. The actual technology inside the instrument. But that wasn't what got me. It was the sound. Man, to me, that takes me back 40 years to the first time I ever played a Taylor. This is what they sounded like. Wow. God knows. This just don't sound like any Taylor that I've seen recently. And then the second one came. The second one came made out of rosewood. Same guitar. There you go. Beautiful rosewood. One piece back. And this, of course, is the 717. Because the rosewood is a higher quality wood. Not for me. But the same, and the consistency and the that you can actually hear it's a rosewood guitar compared to the other. Boy, that just doesn't sound like any Taylor I've heard in years and years. This reminds me of being a kid all over again. I just get giddy when I hear it. They got super low action, which is why it's bottoming out a bit up here. Not super bad, but I'm going to actually adjust the necks a little, and there's something else that's going to be done to them as well that'll make them perfect, because they're mathematically perfect. All Taylors are, so they're mathematically perfect. I can set the action anywhere I want to. Get the right height saddle, the nut is perfect, so the saddle is going to have to be altered a little for me. And yeah. Okay, so here's the TED Talk. And now, mind you, as I said earlier, my preference, right, for a pickup is a contact pickup, and there's a lot of reasons for that. Contact pickups like K&K, SGI, JJB, these pickups sound uber natural. They also have superior, far superior headroom, SPL ability, right, than an undersaddle. You can beat them to death, and they will never break up. They will never cack. They will never distort. They don't have batteries. They are designed to be put into a high-quality amplifier like my Fishman or my GR, and there you go. I can run those pickups virtually flat through my amplifier, right out to the board, boom, you got a guitar that basically sounds like it's coming through a microphone, right? So that world that I've lived in for 15 years is hard to walk out of. I just can't go back to undersaddles or to anything else. I just can't do it. My brain won't let me do it. These guitars have a new system that's called Claria, the Claria system. So for me personally, it's a non-starter because I can't use undersaddles. I just can't. And these are undersaddles, and they sound like undersaddles. There is a very interesting preamp arrangement, right? There's a volume and sort of a blending button and then a bass and treble button, and these wheels they're set for sweeping cues, designed to do what they do, right? I'm not going to keep these pickups in here. I just can't do it. I've played these guitars through amplifiers, and unfortunately, they still sound like an undersaddle pickup, which is brittle, full of top end, and there's no way to EQ it out of there because it's the nature of the system. It's not Taylor's fault. They reinvented pickups when they did the expression system, and even that system wasn't under saddle, but it was taking its cues from the saddle from behind. So they weren't the best sounding ones either. So if you want to try the new system, make sure you play it in the store, right, to hear what this pickup sounds like, because it doesn't sound horrible, but it's still an under saddle. So know that going in. And if you don't like it, order one without the pickup in it and put your own in, right? That's what I would do. And other than that, they do have it is a very interesting way they have preamped this undersaddle. These sweepable knobs are super quick. They you don't have to move them very much to make a massive difference in the tone of the guitar, which is a good thing and a bad thing, because when you're on the fly in the stage, you reach in there and you go like this, and you turn it a quarter turn when it only needs to be turned a 16th. Like, that's how quick the cue's moving when you roll these wheels. So that's a problem, right? But I'm not crapping on Taylor's effort. They wanted to design something new to put in these guitars, and they did so. And it's valid. If you like undersaddle pickups, these could be the pickups that you'll love the most. For me, I can't do it. These systems will have to come out, and new ones will be put in, because I want to play these on stage. These guitars sound so good that with a K&K in them, or anything else you put in for a sensor, these guitars are going to sound fabulous. Because guess what? When a guitar sounds great through a sensor, through the sound hole, it sounds great through a sensor. If the guitar sounds like crap, it's going to sound like crap through the sensor. So when you start out with a guitar that sounds like this, my God, that's going to tear up a sensor hard. This guitar will sound unbelievable through my amps, right? And it's so well built. It's a Taylor. Like, what do you expect? It's a Taylor. So there's unless these bridges come off, which I don't think they will. I'm looking closely at how they've built this and how it's glued and how it looks and all these things, and I think we're gonna be okay. I think there's going to be no bridge lifting. There's going to be no, but I'll let you know if it happens. But I just feel like these are built differently. It sounds like they are. So that's a big thing, right? So let's take a close look at one, right? And we'll look at the mahogany, just because I love mahogany. But they're the same guitar, except for the tone woods, right? Same guitar. But good job, Taylor. Thank you for stepping up, right? As somebody at that company went, you know what? Guys like JP could be right. Maybe we've strayed too far from just making powerhouse guitars, right? That can, fill a room and have that voice, that Taylor voice that everybody loved 35 years ago, 30 years ago. And they did it. They brought back, in my opinion, what Taylor was when I first discovered Taylor when I was 18 years old. I'm nearly 57 now, right? So this This is a big deal to me. And I feel I'm probably not true, but I feel like I might have been one of the maybe hundreds of people who said, "Boys, can you make us some really cool guitars again?" And they did. And that shows an innovation and a willingness to, you know, to do what needs to be done. A lot of companies won't do this. A lot of companies will just sit on their laurels and keep building the same thing over and over again, and it's getting worse and worse. The production's getting worse. Quality control's getting worse. Everything's getting worse, and they just don't stop. They never stop and go, "Wait a minute, boys, can we just go back about 2 decades here and figure out what was going right back then?" You know, Taylor did it. Taylor designed guitars, in my opinion, that supremely echo what they started out doing, which in those days, they were the best guitar in the world in those days. They were better than Martin, better than Gibson, cheaper than both when they first came out. And I still to this day remember some of the guitars that I owned of theirs and my friends owned. Oh my God, it was killer. You get a couple of these things in a room in the 90s and in the early 2000s, in the 90s especially. Man, it was pandemonium. It was guitar heaven. So yeah, let's take a close look at the Hog, because I love her, and I love this one too. It means, but it's the same guitar, rosewood, mahogany, whatever. Yeah, we'll take a look at them both. Very simple, very well made, and you can tell there's a lot of attention to detail going into both of these instruments. So let's take a closer look. So here we are at the headstock of the brand new Taylors. This is the 517E mahogany. You can see this brand new logo and headstock design. I absolutely love this. When I saw this, I flipped a little. I was like, wow, they've just gone native. Look at this, it's incredible. Beautiful ebony faceplate, bone nut, ebony fretboard, wooden inlay. These are wood, some type of white wood, maple probably, or ash. Really tastefully done. Unbound, as far as I can see. Oh no, there might be ebony bound. Yeah, I think it is. Maybe, I don't know. You'll notice my attention to detail sucks sometimes. Anyhow, we've got a beautiful spruce top. Lovely grain. I love these pick guards. That's my favorite pick guard material right there. Beautiful. This is ash or mahogany. Probably mahogany. Those are wooden pegs, I believe, and another bone saddle. This guitar also has a new the Taylor neck joint that they've developed over the years. Straight purfling, 2-line. There's our label right there. There we go. Gold label 517E. Beautiful. I like how that's sort of unfinished. There's no finish on that. It's really nice. See the grain. And they've chosen some beautiful mahogany. Look at this. They got the faux ivory binding. Gorgeous mahogany. Look at that. Jeez. And a big old slab of one-piece hoggy goodness right here. Beautiful grain, beautiful markings. Gorgeous stuff. There we go. They really picked some good wood for this. And a beautiful neck, ebony heel cap. And then down here we have the end pin with the ebony strip, just so. There we go. Taylor is known for its necks. Well, no surprises here. It's a 2-piece graft neck, black hardware, all the way up here. Another graft here, instead of a volute. And yeah, it's beautiful. It's just gorgeous. So well done, so well done. The profile on this neck is deadly too, as fast as lightning. Truss cover up here. There we go. And that's it. It's a very plain Jane guitar, but that's the point. They've just worked on sound, nothing else. I will show you this pickup system interface, which looks like this. If I can see it, it's very recessed. So there's the two wheels, bass and blend, I believe. Volume wheels back here. Again, I can't see it well. It's fairly recessed, but they're all just right there at the lip of the sound hole in a metal housing. The battery bag is up here on the heel block, I think. If it was when I looked the last time. But yeah, there you go. There's the 517. The other one is a 7 because it's a rosewood. And but beautiful guitars, man. For me, it doesn't even matter about the details. It's what they sound like. The sound of this thing is killer. So I really can't fault them. They build a smoking guitar. This is completely different than anything you'll find hanging on the walls of any music store with Taylor on it. So there you go, boys. Taylor, the new Taylors, gold label. He. So there you go, boys. These are the Taylor gold labels, the 5 and the 7, rosewood and mahogany. Again, the pickup might be fine for most people, right? For me, and I had this conversation with Taylor 25 years ago when they changed to expression systems. I told them, I can't use that system. It just doesn't sound as good as the Fishman did, right? And they were, they wanted to develop that. Bob Warbonis told me, he said, man, we just want to work with Rupert Neve. That's what we want. We want to design something brand new, right? And they did, and it wasn't that good. And then they did the second iteration of expression system. That one was better. And on that goes. To me, it seems like to me that Bob Taylor and the whole crew out there are never quite resting on their laurels. They have for a while because they're successful. They can sell guitars. And they sell a lot of lawyer guitars. That's what we talk about, doctor and lawyer guitars. Like $15,000 guitar hanging on the wall that I can't afford, nobody can afford. But some doctor who doesn't even play, who wants to buy a guitar, well, you got to buy the best one. So he buys the Taylor. And that's how they sell a lot of those guitars, is just people who are buying the prestige of having that level of Taylor in their house, probably under glass, right? Like they're works of art, right? Let's face it. So, yeah. So there you go. I think this is a massively great step. And the only thing I can say is I've heard of some other models that Taylor have also made. I think they're called the traditional. I don't know if that's true. I saw some guitars on the Alamo Music from Texas, the boys down there, and the same thing. These guitars that they had there just blew my head off. They were just like what I was seeking as a teenager, the whole time, trying to find those Holy Grail Taylors, or at least having enough money in those days to buy one. This new crop of guitars is that in spades. So thanks to Taylor. Thanks for taking a chance and for loving me. I guess you do. I'm proud you do. And I hope you can appreciate my honest feedback. Again, I can't say don't buy the guitar because of the pickup, because that's not right. But I can tell you, it might be great for you, and you might hear it and go, it's a little too undersaddly for me, and think the same thing as me, and want to put something else in it, and that's fine. And but I'm definitely going to put sensors in these, as I want to get these out in the road and proudly play these guitars. And we're going to see if they stand up. I'm sure they will. I really do believe that. These seem to be built different than anything else I've seen in recent years. So good on you, Taylor, and thanks a million for trusting me with these instruments. And yeah, we hope to see you soon somewhere along the way. And until then. Thanks, guys. Go check one out if you can find one. Go play it. It'll blow you away. It did me. Thanks, Taylor, Bob, the whole crew, Jay, everybody. Love you. And let's keep making great guitars. Sweet.